Hi, everybody, and welcome back to our final episode of Good Book Hunting. It has been such a fun adventure showing you all these different resources or different ways to use the same resource. But as we move into our spring and summer months, there are just a lot of things we got to do, including on March 22nd, beginning our phase 1 reopening, starting to have browsing and computer appointments. So we will have to stop doing good book hunting to throw open our doors and say hello. So if that's something you're interested in, we hope that you are as excited as we are. But for today, we are going to do this one last time with Erica bringing us home, as she often does at the end of every individual episode, using one of our favorite resources, NoveList. And we will be looking at Before She Disappeared by Lisa Gardner. Before She Disappeared is the newest from Lisa Gardner, who has written many, many New York Times and other best-selling thrillers. This one is about an ordinary woman who will stop at nothing to find the missing people that the rest of the world has forgotten. So Frankie Elkin is an average middle-aged woman, a recovering alcoholic with more regrets than belongings. But she searches for people the police have given up on and the media have also stopped paying attention to. This one is set in Mattapan, a Boston neighborhood, and she is searching for a Haitian teenager who vanished from her high school. So it's a bit missing persons, a bit cold case, and a female detective. Again, Erica will be using NoveList today. I will be using the CW Mars Overdrive. Olivia will be using the library catalog, which you're familiar with if you search on our website. And Anne will be using Taste Dive. And this has been a quartet of different resources with wildly varying results. But if you've learned nothing over the last several good book huntings, it's that the catalog is amazing if you click a few extra buttons, and NoveList is our best friend. Anne and I are just kind of here along for the ride. So without further ado, I'm going to have Erica take it away for us.
Hi everyone, I'm Erica. I'm the Technology Services Librarian here at the Athenaeum. I'm going to show you how to access NoveList, which you can actually do through our catalog. I know I showed this a couple weeks ago, but I wanted to bring it back there because it's been a little bit since I did. So I'm going to share my screen and we're going to get started. Okay, so I'm going to head to our catalog, the Westfield catalog specifically, by going to westfield.cwmars.org. And we're going to search in Before She Disappeared. So we have it right here. This is our first result, and usually you tend to get better NoveList results from the catalog if you do click on the book, specifically the book version of it. So we're just going to click into it and we're going to scroll down. And right here we have our little NoveList widget. So we can see the similar titles here. We can see some similar authors if you really like the author of this book. You can see kind of some more story elements about it, which if you click onto them, it will give you some more similar titles that have those traits. So if you click onto multiple ones, then it'll kind of mix and match to give you stories that match those tags. So I'm just going to click off of those for now. We also, moving right along, we have reader reviews from Goodreads to just kind of give you a brief look-see at what people might think of this book. We have some professional reviews as well. And then book lists that this item is in NoveList. So we're just going to go back up and we're going to take a look at these similar titles again. Also, if you click this link here, that'll bring you to the full NoveList site, which means that you'll be able to go into even more detail and maybe search other things that are like it, which you can check out our other videos using NoveList to see how that might work. So the first item we have here is My Sister's Grave by Robert Dugoni. So you'll see that it gives you the cover art, it gives you the title, the author, and then it tells you why this item is recommended. It looks like both of these are police procedurals that feature police women investigating cold cases. So a lot of similar themes there. We'll click over here to the next one. The Good Daughter by Karin Slaughter. Both of these books are disturbing and compelling, and they have the subjects cold cases, suspicion, and secrets, and have characters that are well developed. So a lot of the time with NoveList, you kind of, especially as you get further down the list, you start seeing items like this that don't really give you full, like, well-written reasons why they're similar, but they do say which traits they have in common. So you can say, I like these facets of this item, so this is why I would like this book as well. So if you like the cold cases aspect of it, if you like the sort of thriller, secretive aspect of it, then this might be a good match for you. The next one we have is Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell. So both of these books have the theme Too Good to Be True, the genre multiple perspectives, the subjects cold cases, missing teenagers, and we're just going to hit more, and middle-aged women, and have characters that are well developed. So a lot of similar themes again. Sounds like some similar characters, a similar style of writing, things like that. Next one is Cold, Cold Heart by Tami Hoag. So both of these books are issue-oriented, also police procedural, cold cases, police women, police, and have characters that are well developed. And then the last one we're going to take a look at is Into the Woods by Tana French. Both of these books are disturbing, also police procedurals, first-person narratives, cold cases, police women, and they have characters that are well developed. So most of these are cold cases, a lot of them dealing with police women specifically, with well-developed characters. So if those are all facets you like, these all sound like pretty good books to match that. If you want to learn more about the books that are in this little widget here, you can always click this NoveList link. It'll bring you to NoveList so you can see some more information about the book, see other titles that might be similar to that book if it sounds interesting. And if you hit find it, then it'll look it up in the catalog for you. So let's say that we wanted to see this In the Woods book. I'm just going to click find it. And then right off the bat, we have some results here that you would be able to place a hold on or request it if you gave us a call. So that is all. We just do the top 5 from NoveList. So we're going to head back and see what everybody else's results are.
So going from a resource that gives you very specific and spelled out reasons of why these books are recommended for the book that you're looking up, I'm gonna self-insert the Overdrive catalog. This is the ebook, e-audiobook, and video catalog. And as we have discovered over the last couple of episodes, the algorithm that it uses to suggest books for you is not good. So I actually took some of the best recommendations instead of just the top 5 from this book, because, for example, one of the top 5 for this one was building websites for dummies and online couponing for dummies. And I just don't think that that's what you're looking for. So the first one that came up that was actually vaguely a mystery was Nobody by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. There are people in this world who are nobody. Nobody sees them, nobody notices them. That's why they make the perfect assassins. This is actually young adult suspense science fiction, and it is about a girl named Claire who becomes a young adult assassin. So while I don't think that that's quite a female detective cold case, it might be, a suspense that you're interested in. The other recommendation that seemed relevant was The Mysterious Affair at Styles, Hercule Poirot #1 by Agatha Christie. This is Poirot's first case where it all started. And it's about who poisoned the wealthy Emily Inglethorpe and how did the murderer penetrate and escape from her locked bedroom. Agatha Christie is a very classic mystery writer, so that seemed relevant. And weirdly, the recommendation right after that was The Witness for the Prosecution and Other Stories by Agatha Christie. This is actually a collection of 11 tantalizing tales of murder and other criminal pursuits. So this is still some Agatha Christie, but it is short stories, and that might be something a little bit different that might be interesting. The fourth one is Wacko Academy by Faith Wilkins. You think your school is bad? 8th grader Lily Mason has enough hassles dealing with siblings, cranky teachers, and the cute new guy in school. But when she's kidnapped and brought to Wacko Academy, it takes all of her smarts and courage to outwit the school's treacherous owner. And then she teams up with his infuriating and unnecessarily handsome son. So it claims to be suspense, but it seems also partially like a romantic comedy and is, again, young adult fiction. And then the last, the fifth relevant result, vaguely relevant result, is Calculated in Death, the In Death series, book 36 by J.D. Robb. And in this, again, number 36 in this series, Lieutenant Eve Dallas must immerse herself in her billionaire husband Rourke's world of big business to uncover the identity of a hitman. So it is, again, at least a female detective from a popular mystery author. So that's the best I could do, combing the results for relevant. And I know Anne also had an adventure with Taste Dive. Taste Dive has been better at giving authors than books titles of late. So Anne, why don't you hit us up with the authors it suggests?
Yeah, Taste Dive, as we've sort of discovered, doesn't seem to have the latest books of authors reviewed or added into its algorithms. So, but I went forward and just looked up Lisa Gardner. And again, another quick detail is that they connect the authors. The description you get about the authors is actually the Wikipedia page. And Wikipedia, as many of you may know, is sometimes on the mark for what you're looking for and sometimes not. So sometimes you'll get information about the author, where they grew up, whether they like daisies or not. And sometimes you'll get information about the books that they want. The first author that they recommend is Tami Hoag. And it talks about her being an American novelist, best known for her work in the romance and thriller genres. More than 22 million copies of her books are in print. Both of these authors write mystery and detective series, and I think my guess is that that's the link. They also write similar books. They both write romances and both write sort of thrillers, crime fiction, and a number of series. The next author that they list is Iris Johansson, and she is also, as you list, she is an author of crime fiction, suspense fiction, and romance novels. And again, she has many series that have female detectives or female sleuths, so that would also connect to today's book. The last author that I will just hit upon is Jonathan Kellerman, since he sometimes shows up. If you look for lookalikes for Lisa Gardner's books, Kellerman will sometimes show up, and he is most known for his detective series featuring the character Alex Delaware, a child psychologist who consults for the LAPD. So again, series, similar kinds of connections. And I'll stop off there. They continue. They have a number of more authors, but they seem to primarily be connected because they have series and they're either mystery writers, and the author somewhere along the author's trajectory has written romance novels as well. It can be more subtly described, but that's my basic gist on Taste Dive in regards to Lisa Gardner.
Two observations. First one being that I had no idea those three authors, the first three authors that you mentioned, who I do know and think are quite good recommendations for Lisa Gardner, also wrote romance novels. Like, I had no idea. So I've learned something today. And also, I mean, interesting enough, Tami Hoag, I believe, also came up on NoveList. So, there's a point of connection there that something good is happening. But with that, and making connections that are actually cataloged by librarians, Olivia, what did the catalog turn back for you?
So the catalog was pretty good, as it normally is. I decided to go with the subject heading, Missing Persons - Fiction. And I got lots of results, and I narrowed it down to just what we have available here at the Westfield Athenaeum, so that way you can get it maybe today. So the first book that came up was The Suspect by Fiona Barton. And this book is quick summary. When two 18-year-old girls go missing in Thailand, their families are thrust into the international spotlight, desperate, bereft, and frantic with worry. What were the girls up to before they disappeared? Journalist Kate Waters always does everything she can to be the first to the story, first with the exclusive, first to discover the truth, and this time is no exception. So it is part of the Kate Waters series, all written by Fiona Barton. That is number 3 in the series. Next up was Yule Log Murder by Leslie Meier. While I don't know how intense this one is, because it does have a cozy mystery vibe to it, this is the summary. Lucy Stone is thrilled to be cast as an extra in a festive period film until the set becomes a murder scene decorated in blood and buttercream icing. Returning to her role as a sleuth, Lucy dashes to restore peace to Tinker's Cove, unwrap a cold-hearted criminal's MO, and reveal how one ornate Yule log cake could possibly cause so much drama. There are some missing persons, but it doesn't necessarily seem to be the main focus of the story. Next up, we have Looking Glass by Andrew Mayne. Professor Theo Cray caught one of his most prolific serial killers in history by using revolutionary scientific methods. Cut off from university research because of the shroud of suspicion around him after the death of his former student in the aftermath of catching his quarry, Cray decides to rebuild his life but finds himself drawn into another unsolved case, which is a missing child case. Next, we have The Last Time I Lied, a novel by Riley Sager. Quick summary for this one. The Last Time I Lied follows a young woman as she returns to her childhood summer camp to uncover the truth about a tragedy that happened there 15 years ago. Finally, we have Rush of Blood by Mark Billingham. This was originally published in Great Britain, featuring 3 British couples meet around the pool on their Florida holiday and become fast friends. But on Easter Sunday, the last day of their vacation, tragedy strikes. Their 14-year-old daughter of an American vacationer goes missing, and her body is later found in the mangroves. All right, those are the results. I would say maybe the only one that's a little iffy is the Yule Log Murder. Doesn't seem as hard-hitting as the rest of them, but the other 4 I think are great recommendations.
Okay, but like the Yule log one is the one I want. And that's what's so great about just clicking on subject tags in the catalog. They might not return things that are exactly like, you know, the book you clicked from, but you might find something that maybe you wouldn't have found otherwise. And, you know, Olivia's list started with some authors that I recognized and then went on to some that I didn't. So again, what we hope that we've showed you over the course of all of these good book hunting videos is that there are tons of ways to play with these resources, and there are good ones, there are better ones, and there are ones that you could look at if you wanted to for some giggles. But even with, say, the Overdrive catalog, even if the book recommendations aren't great, it's been awesome to show you how to use that so that you can help just read more books, read ebooks, read audiobooks, you know, use the catalog to request books either from us, the available now button is beautiful, or from other libraries, or use NoveList and that beautiful find it button to do some research on some books, and then, you know, just click find it and don't have to worry about a bajillion tabs open trying to get them from us. We've discovered some new resources like Taste Dive. We've explored just straight up Google and Goodreads, and there's a lot of them, and they're all labeled in the playlist on Facebook. So if you're curious, even if you just want to watch the first couple of minutes, each one of them is a share screen tutorial on every single one of these resources. So they will be with you even when we stop producing them. And don't forget that if you have questions, you can always give us a call. We are here in the library, and like we said, now to be opening, you know, browsing and computer appointments. So hey, even come explore NoveList in the library on a computer. So whatever it is that we have taught you, we hope that it just helps you find more books, because more books is always the goal. So thank you so much from all of us, and we will see you on Librarians Discuss or in the library or in some other capacity, because while this is ending, we are still very busy people who you will see again and again. So thank you so much for spending this time with us, and have a great time reading books and using NoveList. That's the key. Okay. Bye.